Hello, I'm Marcia White, Interim President of the College of St. Rose, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to this unusual edition of the 16th Annual A Community of Excellence. Thanks so much for tuning in, and this program is a wonderful opportunity for St. Rose to celebrate the accomplishments of our honorees, Lee A. McElroy Jr., Mayor Kathy Sheehan, and Judge Leonard A. Weiss. They have all made important contributions to the college and our Capital Region community and deserve our recognition and sincere gratitude. In more normal times, a Community of Excellence is one of our most anticipated events of the year. In addition to giving us the opportunity to connect with our wonderful Capital Region business partners and supporters, the event raises critical funds to support student scholarships. This year, the COVID-19 crisis has affected us all, including St. Rose students and their families. Many are facing financial setbacks, and the scholarship aid we are able to offer them this fall will be the deciding factor in their ability to attend. While we are all disappointed not to gather together in person this year, the mission of the Community of Excellence has never been more important. I want to thank you for supporting us during this unprecedented time. Whether you've supported the event, made a gift, or helped spread the word about all the great things happening at St. Rose, you are making a significant difference to the college today and for future generations. I would like to thank our Planning Committee Chair, St. Rose MBA alumna and Board of Trustee member, Julie Masry-Knox, continuing the long and wonderful legacy of the Masry family's connection to the college. Julie and her committee have risen to the challenge of promoting support for St. Rose students through this event. We appreciate the work that you and all of the members of the Community of Excellence Committee have done to ensure success in this very difficult year. The College of St. Rose was founded in 1920 because the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet believed women deserved equal access to higher education. What started with that first graduating class in 1924 has been followed by generations of St. Rose students who proudly use their St. Rose degrees to break ground in the arts, business, education, health professions, and the sciences, and to advocate for the underrepresented and for social justice. In this, our centennial year, I know that this, our core mission, will continue to guide us as we continue to provide an exceptional education for the next 100 years.
I am grateful to President White for that lovely introduction. I care deeply about St. Rose, and I am proud to chair the 16th A Community of Excellence Committee. I have a wonderful committee who has worked tirelessly for the College of St. Rose, and I thank you for taking the time to view our digital program and celebrate our honorees. Their service and contributions to the college and the greater community are truly inspiring. We are proud to consider them friends of St. Rose and hope you enjoy hearing more about their accomplishments later in this presentation. Despite the challenges of COVID-19, we are fortunate to have received strong support for this year's event. As of taping, we have raised more than $86,000 for student scholarships this year, and in 16 years, we have raised over $2.3 million. Thank you especially to our presidential scholar sponsor, Tri-City Rentals, and our summa cum laude sponsors, Albany Medical Center, BBL Construction Services, KeyBank of New York, CEFCU, Nagro Companies, and the Walter S. Brizanock Family Foundation. We are also fortunate to have over 30 sponsors at our magna cum laude, scholarship, and excellence levels, as well as more than 25 members of the honorary committee, all of whom are critical to helping to make today's event a success. Thank you once again for watching our program and for your dedication to St. Rose and our students. I hope to see you in person next year.
So I met Kathy several years ago. I was a fellow, a graduate student at the University at Albany, completing the Center for Women in Government, Women in Public Policy Fellowship. We were excited about the opportunity of going to a local political event honoring women. Mayor Sheehan actually funded the whole class to attend this event. Didn't want accolades for it, just did it. And then, of course, when we were at the event, she came and introduced herself.
As I was growing up, my parents always really instilled in us the importance of being involved in the community. They led by example. I came here for a career, but I also did things like get involved with my church, my community-based organizations. So it was really based on those relationships that I was approached by some people and asked to run for office. And I think that happens to women a lot. Women get asked. It's not something that was really on my radar. I was more of a behind-the-scenes kind of person. You need to be willing to solve the problem to be part of the change. And so I decided to run for office. And I later decided to run for mayor because I really enjoy public service. I know it sounds hokey, but it really is an honor to be able to serve the community.
So I first met Kathy when she became a nominee for the Board of Proctors. And amazingly enough, in her second year, I think, maybe her third, she decided that she was willing to chair our strategic planning committee. And for a year and a half, developed a plan that, frankly, is still 10 years later, the basis of much of what we have done. It all came out of the thinking that Kathy did before she ran for controller. And I loved when she decided to run for mayor, the timing of it all. And you watch her, and she cares. She just cares.
You know, my commitment from community started with my parents, but it really has grown as mayor as a way for me to be at a table and understand within these institutions that are so important to the city of Albany, what are their priorities? What are their challenges? And how can I, as mayor, help to make connections that allow those institutions to thrive and to continue to do the great things that they're doing in our community?
This idea that she exemplifies, that every neighborhood matters in the city of Albany. Even in our residential communities, there have been communities traditionally overlooked in terms of economic development opportunities. Mayor Sheehan's intentionality about making sure every neighborhood feels that they are a part of the fabric of our city.
I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that we now have an equity agenda that has been legislated. When I became mayor, I convened a lot of different people to come together and help me create a plan for the future of the city of Albany. They all spoke to this idea of equity and of ensuring that communities that had been disenfranchised, disinvested in, that we needed to focus on investing in those communities to make our city stronger.
I would describe Mayor Sheehan as a humanitarian. She is someone who shows up for people when it matters most. When a mother lost her son due to gun violence, Mayor Sheehan was at their home. When my dear mother passed, Mayor Sheehan flew to DC to speak at my mother's funeral. That's the woman that I know. That's the woman who is committed to caring for people. And she shows that through her actions each and every day, oftentimes when no one else is looking.
Kathy should get this award because she's excellent. She just does it well. She does it well all the time, day in and day out. When you ask what one word, I would put it as 2 or 3. She gives a damn. That's the reason. She gives a damn. I think it's wonderful.
It's really an honor to be recognized because I admire so much the commitment that St. Rose has made to our community. Our higher education institutions are really critically important. St. Rose in particular, because of the mission of this college and because of what you offer here. And I think it really helps our community when we're able to tap into that and to tap into the resources that are here. You're really civically engaged, and we need those partners in this community to provide that richness.
She is holding herself and her administration accountable to show up in this critical moment in our nation, in our history, to be on the right side of history. And I tip my hat off to her with so much admiration and respect for the leader she has been, but the leader that she is evolving into at this very challenging time for us as human beings.
I first met Lee in probably 2004, 2005. He was new to the University of Albany as athletic director. And how I met him was an invitation to the Hall of Fame room in the Sefcu Arena on campus. And Lee McElroy was at the head of the room with an easel with artist renderings. He was presenting to the room plans for a new football stadium at the university. Everybody was supportive of it. The idea was right on target. And Lee closed his remarks by saying, all I need from you guys to make this happen is $10 million. And the room got very quiet.
Coming to Albany, when Karen Hitchcock hired me in 2000, is something that I'll never forget because we started a Division I program from its infancy and built it to one of the best. That's something that will always remain with me. All the people, all the support, the Capital Region, which I've lived in now for 20 years. Karen and I my wife just love it. And so that will always be with us for as long as we can remember.
My husband and I met Lee and Karen when they moved in next door, but they became more than friends, they became family, and we would spend every holiday together. When I think about Lee in this community, I think about how he transformed athletics at UAlbany. And it's the same thing he's doing at RPI. Every time I drive through that campus and I see that football field, I think about the grit and determination it took for him to raise the funds to bring that to fruition. And I also look at the different sports that have been elevated on a national level. Women's basketball, men's basketball, and let's not forget lacrosse. And all that was under Lee's leadership.
You could be out every week, maybe several times every week at charitable events. I go to a lot of them, I do my share, and I always see Lee at them. And I'm sure he's at events that I'm not at. So Lee does his fair share and then some. He's also on the board of the ACO Charitable Foundation. He's a past trustee at the Capital Region YMCA, and he's also on the board of St. Rose. So Lee is out in the community doing his best for the community at large.
Everywhere that I've worked, we've had a program for volunteerism and community service, working with social agencies, schools, and businesses, one, to give back, but also to provide an experience where student athletes and coaches and staff can really get connected to the community. There's an old mantra that says it takes a village, and that's literally true, particularly in these very challenging times. We're in the middle of a pandemic, but even prior to that, I've always felt that if you give back to the community will respond positively.
I have thought about how to describe Lee, and so many words come to mind. Gentlemanly, compassionate, but if I had to pick one word, and it's a hyphenated word, it would be laser focused. Whether it's a goal that Lee sets for himself or for those who work with him, he keeps that ball moving till he reaches that goal.
There are so many distinguished honorees, including the two who are recognized today, Judge Weiss and Mayor Sheehan, and many previous awardees, that to be in the company of these distinguished people, I'm very, very honored and very proud. Higher education is a significant part of every community because not only do they deliver educational products, but they have people, for the most part, that are going to live in those communities and make a contribution. St. Rose is very special to me. They have a special mission where they're educating young people so that they can go into the communities and make them better. And at the same time, many of the St. Rose students are first-generation students. And that's really important because I'm a first-generation student. And to be able to support that effort and that mission and those values is important to me.
Well, Lee's been a trustee since 2008, and he has a perspective different from many trustees coming out of professional sports. His enthusiasm is contagious. His resolve is amazing. He's as persistent as they come, but he does it all with a great amount of optimism.
And when you see Lee with how he relates to young people and the coaches that work for him, you can see that he uses what he has learned to mentor and inspire these people to become the best that they can be.
The one thing I think that's important that the college is doing is get people to understand the critical role of the mission, particularly around first-generation students. I think that's really important because they haven't had the backgrounds and their families and experience. Looking at St. Rose, this award, and I have received a lot of recognition in my career, this is at the top of the list for the wonderful things that St. Rose has done, not only for the Capital Region, but across the country and the world. and I'm proud to have been a part of it.
You know, you think about this man and what he's accomplished, and he is such a gentleman. I also left out he has a great laugh. Did you hear his laugh? Yeah. Does he not have the best laugh?
Yeah.
Like many great people, Judge Weiss's reputation preceded him before I met him. I came to Albany to work for Robert Abrams in the Attorney General's office doing environmental law enforcement. I would often go watch an oral argument if it was an important case I wanted to observe. And I got to know him as a brilliant jurist before I actually met him and shook his hand.
Well, I was discharged from the United States Army as a disabled veteran. I had sustained injury in World War II, and I was entitled to vocational rehabilitation. They asked me what I'd like to do, and I told them I always loved public speaking. So I said, the law is a lot of speaking, why don't I try that? I had never been in Albany before, and I met a lovely young lady here whom we became engaged and we were married. She had an uncle in a law firm called Koblenz and Taub, Edmund A. Koblenz, Isidore Taub. I had passed the bar, and they said, well, we'll give you a job. We're going to give you $10 a week. You're not worth it, but you're married to my niece. So I took it.
Well, I've worked with him for 27 years. He's been a chairman of the Albany County Democratic Party, a commissioner for the Public Service Commission, and of course a retired judge and still carries that title. I remember once a lawyer asked him, shall I refer to you as commissioner, chairman, or judge? And Judge Weiss just said, you can call me Lenny.
Truthfully, my most vivid memory of how I met the judge and how we worked together was through St. Rose. I think the judge is one of these people that no matter where he's involved, no matter what he does, people see him as a leader. I think that just is universal with him.
So I started out early in the career by joining many organizations, several of which were Jewish organizations. I became leaders in almost every one of them. And I was friendly with several of the African American ministers here in Albany. And I had been president of Temple Israel. I said, why don't we do something here? Let's start some kind of a council and bring people together. And that became the Interfraternal Council, if you will.
When I see the judge, one of the things that he always goes out of his way to point out is his relationship with the interfaith community. He's a very good bridge in showing how important it is to, as we would read, love thy neighbor. So he lives that every day.
As the chair of the Democratic Party, he was one of the original big tent guys. He promoted people of color to the bench, women to the bench. He's an indelible thread embroidered into the fabric of the Capital Region legal community for having done that.
I'm very active, fully love it. I find it, in my prayer book when I pray, I read the Lord, what does the Lord expect of you? To shelter the homeless, to feed the hungry. And I characterize that as me actualizing my faith.
The word I would describe, it's probably a lot of words, but the one word I would say is committed. I would go to synagogue on Saturday morning and I would arrive 30 minutes early. Guess who was there an hour early? He would come, he would quietly sit in the same spot. He would be there, and he would be the first person I would go in to say hello to, spend a few minutes with before the service starts. To me, that's dedication. That's commitment.
Judge Weiss is so deserving of this award, absolute dedication to public interest and public service. And so that's why he's been on so many boards, served on so many committees, and helped so many organizations and people in this community. It's just impossible to list them all. That's how he became an icon.
He's being honored for the Community of Excellence because he's deserving of it, and his commitment to his community, I think it's one of the reasons that he enjoys a long life, because he gives back so much of himself. That's part of, in my opinion, how you attain a long life.
I'm flattered, first of all. Made me feel very good. It made me feel as though I was a very decent, worthwhile person. I've had a lot of experience in my career as a judge, and I know what it is to be fair and impartial, to be equitable to everybody, to be conscientious, to be patient, to be observant, to give opportunity to litigants to express themselves within the scope of the law. It gives me pleasure to get up every morning, shave, get dressed, put on a shirt and a tie and a suit, and go down and go to work.
I want to say a big thank you. Thank you for making my dream come true, and thank you for helping out every child out there who has a dream.
It's very critical to my success in terms of the community with them stepping in with scholarship. Had I not had that help, I would not have been able to get books. And if the support wasn't there, I would not be here full time.
I'm glad to be here today because I feel like the veteran community has given a lot back to me at St. Rose, and I'm honestly grateful just for any opportunity that I have that I can give something back as well.
Hi, my name's Sage. I'm a sophomore here at the College of St. Rose.
Hello, my name is Belinda Licatino. I'm a Bold Scholar here at St. Rose, and I study music industry.
My name is Rode Esha. I'm a business analytics student at the College of St. Rose. I want to say a very big thank you to all organizations, all individuals that have supported the college financially.
Once I'm done here, I can't wait to go out and teach and inspire the future leaders of the world. And it's thanks to people like you that St. Rose can be the great community that it is.
Thanks to your support, I'm able to get the education I deserve and the education I've always dreamed of.